The Skills Minister, Jacqui Smith, was asked about artificial intelligence and how it will impact on jobs. But she dismisses, as part of the Labour government, any kind of introduction of a universal basic income. Now I want to respond to that. Let's go. This is Reganelite here. So we have, this is a piece that Sophie Ridge had discussing with the Skills Minister, Jacqui Smith, talking about artificial intelligence, the impact on jobs in the future. Also, it was asked about universal basic income and dismisses it as not being Labour policy. So originally the clip is obviously from Sky News, of course, but this is for the Twitter handler Saul Sanford shared this here. And I wanted to share my thoughts about this because I do think this is really, really important because as a whole, we are ever changing more and more as a society, using more artificial intelligence to do work for us. But also, as that change is consistently as we are transitioning into more of this, there are more and more people finding themselves out of work and going on to the welfare system. This is an inevitable thing that is going to happen, especially if there are jobs that are not suitable for them. And it's all well and good saying to people, "Oh, people are going to be fine," but overall, and it is something that's going to be happening. It's going to be something that's going to be happening in the long term, not something that's in the short term, because there is still a long transition. But the more people, more businesses and private entrepreneurs and companies and society uses more of artificial intelligence, takes away someone's job, and it becomes less jobs, for people, and that's going to be a problem. And it's going to get up to a point where, what are you going to do when there's not enough jobs for people to work in? What are they going to do to a living? Well, they're going to end up being on the welfare state, isn't it? And that's where it's going to be a problem. And this is where universal basic income comes in. So let me just start playing this, and then I'll share my thoughts as we go along, guys, here.
Well, I think they're going to carry on being in jobs in all areas. They're probably going to be being...
Are they really?
Well,
is that
That's straight away off the bat. That's not going to be true. Like, let's look at car manufacturing, for example. Let's look at car manufacturing, for example, right? How many cars are made manually now? Like, pretty much most cars are made by machines now within the factories now. How the days of bunch of mechanics putting together cars are very much a near dead industry. It's more about maintaining the machines more than anything. Yeah, that's an industry that's slowly dying off. Most of it is now reliable on robotics, for example. Like, that's just one of many examples that you can point out there where a robot, artificial intelligence, can do it. Let's look at other ones here. There was obviously how you don't need people to... How much of admin work? Admin work is something that's quite normal in society. When it will come to a point where we're going to have artificial intelligence sorting that and organizing that on our behalf instead of somebody actually doing it. You think about, so many businesses have head offices here. What you're going to see with head offices as well, where you have lots of different admin people working in different departments, those departments of sorts are going to shrink, because again, why would you need it when an AI can do the same thing and it can run 24/7 and it doesn't sleep, and guess what? You don't pay it as well. So again, like, to say that all the jobs are still going to be here as artificial intelligence comes in, it's just not true. It's just not true.
Genuinely,
I think,
because I don't think that's true.
What's interesting, of course, is that
there's not going to be jobs in all areas, are there?
Loads
of them are going to be done by AI.
And one of the things that AI also does, of course, if it improves productivity, is that it opens up opportunities in other areas as well. Now, you're right. There are always going to need to be jobs where person-to-person contact is what is most important.
Absolutely, and social care is a great example of where AI is never going to... I don't know how much AI can play an impact on social care, for example, right? That interaction, that human interaction, that is valuable, that is needed. That's an area that's always going to require people-to-people jobs. Maybe really further, like 50 plus years down the road, we've got robots doing them for us. But as of right now, next 20, 30, 40 years, as of right now, it is something we kind of need, like, at the moment. But now, she's saying it's going to open up other opportunities. And I want to say, there's no question that there will be other job opportunities will open up as a result of it. But it's only if those opportunities will only open up if you actually know about managing an AI or managing tech. If you don't know how to manage these things, if you're not qualified in those kind of skill areas, right, not always going to be job opportunities for some people. And it's really important to understand as well is that people right now at this age and the next generation, right, they're not going to be able to make this some of them not going to be able to make the transition. The next generation needs to understand and needs to learn AI to a certain extent. It needs to understand how to utilize it as well. Because if they don't, they could find themselves in a situation where they're not going to be able to get the kind of jobs that they want as well. So while I agree there will be some opening up on some jobs, you're going to open up some jobs with artificial intelligence, but you're going to actually lose more jobs in the long term as the progression of AI and it taking over different jobs in different sectors goes along.
And those are opportunities for young people in retail, in hospitality, for example, where we'll be opening up more foundation apprenticeships for young people in those areas.
Do we think then that with AI, do we think then, you're the skills minister, you know more about this than me, do we think with AI, actually those kind of jobs where you do need a person-to-person contact, whether it is, hospitality or whatever, teaching, are actually going to end up paying more and being more stable than some of the old jobs that we thought were the no-brainers of the past?
Well, this is a change. You're absolutely right in the way in which we think about work. And to be honest, we're not completely clear yet how that is going to impact on jobs.
I don't know in terms of pay what's going to happen there, because obviously one of the things that's been battered around quite a bit, and we've seen this in a few countries as well as had trials out here about the opportunity to do 4 days a week as well, about reducing people's workload as well. That's something that's also been playing a factor here. In terms of pay, look, cost of living is kind of a different subject, but right now the pay's not, the minimum wage is not ideal right now. We are in a cost of living crisis. I would like to think that people would get paid more down that way from Sophie Wish's question, but the honest answer is we just don't know. And things can change, things can fluctuate, things can change in that period. So it's not, we can't really directly answer that question, if I'm honest.
Which is why it puts a premium on the sorts of skills that you can gain early on in your life, but also for all of us, the need to upskill throughout your life as well, which is why...
Upskill in what, though?
Well,
there's a thing here, right, with artificial intelligence, right, is that people can sometimes will rely on AI too much. My fear is that the next generation will, rather than actually learn to use their brain, they will use AI to learn themselves, which makes them not as smart as they think they are, and relying too much on artificial intelligence to do everything for them, as opposed to them utilizing their own brain. Now, I want to make this clear to people. I use Grok sometimes when I can't figure out a question, but I very rarely use it. But it's like I want to try and figure things out for myself rather than that. What I am fearful is, as we continue to develop artificial intelligence and using them, such as GPT and other ones, is that we rely too much on them to figure things out for ourselves, rather than figuring things out on their own as well. I do think that kind of plays a part as well with the future of artificial intelligence. And I'm wondering, will that actually make humans smarter? Or will it kind of, in a way, hold us back? Because then it's just like, well, we just expect AI to just do everything for us because I don't need to think and whatnot about this. I can just ask it there.
Example in how you use AI in the workplace, and that's why we're introducing short courses so that employers can have essentially government funding to support their staff to be able to get upskilled in AI. It's why we're changing the school curriculum as well.
It feels a bit kind of small fry, I guess. I mean, I'm not asking if this is Labour policy, right, because it's not, but are we going to be talking about things like universal basic income in the future, where people are paid a flat rate so that they can actually live? Because of this transformation.
You're right, it isn't Labour policy, Sophie, but I mean, yes, it will change the workplace, but there will still be a premium for people who have got employability skills.
Yeah, but what are these? This is the whole point. What are the employability?
Well, you'll still be needing to work with other.
So I just want to I was just kind of like hoping for listening here about universal basic income and kind of dismissing it as Labour policy. Let me be frank about this. Universal basic income is not going anywhere. It is going to be a subject of discussion more and more, because we are going to find a situation. Look, we're going to find a situation where people are not going to be able to afford to live. And if you're not going to be, there may get to a situation where there may not be enough jobs for people. You know, there will be Labour jobs out there. There will always be Labour jobs out there. But I do believe that a lot of jobs that are in and around now will slowly evaporate over time. And then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with more people fighting over some of the jobs that are available. And the question is whether those jobs will be suitable for them. The other problem as well is that there are many jobs out there that while at the moment, as of right now, our employment rate is quite high. I think it's around about 5%. I think is the last I checked on that. The thing is with these jobs is that it's not really cutting through in terms of enough for people to live on. You know, right now in the UK, or specifically, shall we say, in England, Wales, more, we have far too many people who are working for a living, but also on the welfare system simply because they cannot afford to live, being just on the minimum wage, for example, which is why we need to we need to increase the minimum wage desperately, while also freezing household bills for people. You know, energy, and pretty much all the basic things, necessities that people need to survive. They need to be frozen because people just can't afford at the moment. It will be something more and more that we will be discussing universal basic income. I am in favour of a universal basic income because I do think that it is something that will help people and give people a fair balance in life. And this idea that Labour are just going to kind of like batter it away, it's not important, like it's not thing. They will talk about it. They will be forced to talk about it at some point, because if it'll get to at some point it will get to a point where politicians need to talk more about this. And the thing is that while there are, as of right now, there are jobs, but time and time you're going to see more and more people going on the welfare system. And it's not a case of, and I really can't stress this, it's not a case of that people don't want to work. It can be simply a case of they can't find work as well. So universal basic income is coming. It's just a case of when. And whether it is a Labour government or future government, like, you can't have a situation where we don't have it. It is an inevitable thing here. I don't think Jacqui Smith really, I don't think she's seen the warning signs that are coming with regards to the change to artificial intelligence. I get, why the UK are trying to push and get involved into this because AI is the future and whatnot. But I feel a lot of people are going to get kicked to the curb as while we do this as well. I feel that we should be trying to take workers with us as we bring in AI rather than pushing a lot of people aside. But the problem is when it comes to private companies and business at the end of the day, number one thing is their bottom line. And if an AI can do a job that an admin can do, if an AI can do what a mechanic used to do, if robots can do something that a human can do, why bother having the human in the first place? And this is where unions come into play, and where we need unions more than anything, more than ever before here. But what do you guys honestly think? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What you guys think about Jacqui Smith's comments, what you guys think about artificial intelligence, what you guys think about universal basic income. Let me know your thoughts and more. And if you found this video in any way interesting, hit the like, share and subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching if you got to the end. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.